I am Sharon Chira and I welcome you to another edition of Business Time right here on Times Television. This is a magazine program in which you look at some of the major business stories happening in Malawi and beyond. Coming up in the program today, IMF cautions government on public expenditure. Icon IPO gets oversubscribed. We have these and other stories. Stay with us.
Now you can access the Daily Times, Malawi News and the Sunday Times newspapers anytime, anywhere, by the click of a mouse or a swipe on your smartphone. With eTimes, right on your mobile gadget. Flip through the pages with a swipe or a click. Navigate through all pages and see clear pictures and designs. Access a database of previous papers of the Daily Times, Malawi News and the Sunday Times. Easy. Subscribe now to eTimes. Go to www.times.mw/e-edition. Sign up and log in. Enter your password and enjoy the newspaper. It's about time.
The International Monetary Fund says it expects government's expenditure to be in line with the Extended Credit Facility Program ahead of the May 21 elections. IMF Resident Representative Jack Ree said since 1994, the local economy has been facing high risks of inflation during elections. More in this report.
IMF Resident Representative Jack Jury said that since 1994, the local economy has been facing the risk of high inflation every election year. He said the fund expects the Treasury to deploy strong remedial measures to address budget deficit.
As you rightly said, the election is coming shortly, and the past track record of the election is that we had 5 elections since the transition to multi-party democracy, 1994, 1999, 2004, 2009, and 2014. And what is striking is that during these 5 election cycles, actually was synchronized with the 5 waves of inflation. So definitely there is a strong connection between election-related spending and the risk of inflation. Now the inflation, we have been doing a very good job. Although it has decreased a little bit, still in single-digit range. But I'm afraid that with the election coming, and unless we do really ordinary job to break away from our own past track record, the risk of us falling back to this wave of inflation is quite high. So what is needed now is we just need to hold on to the economic program supported by the IMF Extended Credit Facility, which is all about tightening the budget and tightening the monetary despite the election. So, we just stay on track. We just stay put. And use this ECF program as kind of safeguard and protection against, this historical habit or inertia of overspending. I think that's the way to go. Yes, I'm always hopeful. In fact, we just completed the first review of the ECF program, where basically, Malawi was found to be on track for the program. But of course, the second review is coming soon, and it's going to be very important for us, especially to stay on the agreed, fiscal program. I think that's the key, but I'm still hopeful.
Minister of Finance and Economic Planning Gudo Gondwe said Treasury knows what needs to be done to remain on track. He said the government is working towards sustaining economic stability.
He's right. Yeah, he's right. And we're going to do that. And that's why we're in the program, yes. There are no special arrangements. We agreed with them what the spending is going to be. We planned according to what is needed in the country, and we're going to stick to that. We're good people.
In a recent interview, Reserve Bank of Malawi spokesperson Banengwira said the central bank would maintain a prudent monetary policy stance in line with the ECF program provisions. Malawi's fiscal deficit was projected to widen from an estimated 3.7% of the gross domestic product in 2016-2017 fiscal year to 4.4% of GDP in the 2017-2018 due to increased expenditure and revenue underperformance. From Lilongwe, I am Chimomo Mangazi.
Last month's initial public offer, IPO, by property ownership firm Icon Properties excited the market, resulting in an oversubscription of shares. The firm has since raised the desired 14.7 billion kwacha through the exercise. During the IPO, which opened on December 7 and closed on December 28, the firm offered 1.68 billion shares at a price of 8 kwacha 75 tambala per share. More in this report.
Results of the IPO released on Thursday revealed that the sale was oversubscribed by 56,186 shares. The FUB said all applicants were allotted all shares they applied for so long as they complied with the terms of the offer, except for the portion of shares which were not in multiples of 1,000 as required by the prospectus. Following the IPO, Icon shares are expected to be listed on the Malawi Stock Exchange on January 21. Icon Properties Director Vizenge Kumwenda told journalists during the opening of the IPO that the firm would invest the funds raised into iconic infrastructure.
In the property sector, there was listed on the stock exchange, we had Impico, and that was the only company in the property sector. Now with Icon, it brings in a second company in the property sector. Now looking at the investment itself, it is a company that owns prime properties in the retail, in the office sector and the industrial sector. And not only that, all these properties are let out at 98% occupancy. This means that this company is actually generating very good returns. The other reason why one should invest in Icon is that the shares are being sold at a discount. They are being sold at 15% discount to the book value as at 30th of June. Mind you, this is 30th of June 2018, this discount. Things remaining equal, that discount, if you look at the value of these shares as at today, or maybe as at 31st December, the discount will be even bigger than 15%, on the basis that the properties have increased in value since June.
Kumwenda further said the future of the real estate business looks promising.
The future of the property sector in Malawi, I can say, is bright for various reasons. To start with, we are still a developing country. We are developing. And the part of this development will come in form of infrastructural development. And when you talk of infrastructure, among other things, you're talking of office complexes, you are talking of shopping mall, you are talking of houses, residential areas, you're talking of all sorts of buildings. So real estate sector is part of any developing economy. So on that basis, you can say that the property sector has got a future. But not only that, you see, there are pension funds in this country. I think since 2010, when the Pensions Act was passed, which made it compulsory for employers to provide pension for their employees, the effect of that is that funds are flowing into the capital market through the pension funds. Now, by rule of thumb, pension funds will invest about 25% of their money in the property sector. Therefore, if you look at, it is estimated that either at the end of this year or end of next year, there will be a total of 1.3 trillion funds in pension funds. And if you take 25% of that, it's quite a huge chunk, which must find its way in the property sector. So this means that the Malawi domestic capital market has funds that can be channeled into the property sector. So it's not just the need for property, for properties, but there's also capacity in terms of funds that can go into the sector. Now, when you have that, when you have funds available for a sector, a property sector, what tends to happen is that you also attract foreign investments, because foreign investors who want to come into the Malawi market in the property sector, it's difficult for them to do it on their own. They would want to partner local partners. So there is capacity for foreign investors to come in and partner local investors in the property sector. So if you look at these three, factors, for me, the future for property sector in Malawi is bright.
Icon Properties was incorporated in Malawi on June 4, 2018 and converted to a public limited company on October 11. Icon has 35 properties valued at 50.04 billion kwacha. Some of its properties are at the Shishiri Shopping Mall in Blantyre, Lilongwe City Mall, which houses game stores, and Kangombe House in Lilongwe. Icon IPO came at a time the market has seen a continued growth of funds, especially from pensions and life insurance funds with limited avenues to invest them. For Business Time in Blantyre, I'm Florence Mago.
Remember, this is Business Time on Times Television. Still to come, ADMAC tops pension defaulting parastatals. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Now you can access the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times newspapers anytime, anywhere, by the click of a mouse or a swipe on your smartphone. With eTimes, right on your mobile gadget. Flip through the pages with a swipe or a click. Navigate through all pages and see clear pictures and designs. Access a database of previous papers of the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times. Easy. Subscribe now to eTimes. Go to www.times.mw/e-edition. Sign up and log in. Enter your password and enjoy the newspaper. It's about time.
Producers of roots and tuber crops in the country have decried low penetration of their products on the local market, stressing the dominance of cereals such as maize as staple food and failure by the people to adjust to such products is stifling the growth of the business. This came out as one of the players in the business, Fanny Gondwe of Perisha Agro and Packaging Enterprise, was hosting a team of researchers from USA's Cornell University who are in the country to conduct a study on production, use and marketing of roots and tuber crops. From Lilongwe, Chimwema Mangazi with the details.
This came out as one of the players in the business, Fanny Gondwe of Perisha Agro and Packaging Enterprise, was hosting a team of researchers from USA's Cornell University who are in the country to conduct a study on production, use and marketing of roots and tuber crops. Gondwe said on seed multiplication the business is running smoothly, but the challenge is on the actual products, which are regarded substitutes for maize, and mostly cassava and sweet potatoes are eaten as snack.
As an SME, actually an entrepreneur in agribusiness focusing on the roots and tubers crops, I would say that from the multiplication side, because I also multiply the orange face sweet potato vines and also the cassava cuttings, it's a good business, but the only problem is that it's a substitute of the cereals. In Malawi, our staple food is maize, so most people believe that cassava or sweet potato is just a snack. And most of the buyers, for example, the government and other international NGOs, they buy when it's like there is an emergency or there are floods and the like. So that's where we find some challenges. But we've seen that things are changing. Even individual buyers, they would want to buy cassava, grow, and now that most people want to process, most organizations, although we only have like a concern investor, which is processing products from cassava and orange face sweet potato. We've seen that other companies are also coming in, and that's where, as an SME, I'm also coming in. We have associations, we have cooperatives which are processing, but maybe they are not meeting the demand, or there are other challenges. So to me, I find that as an opportunity, and I want to venture into that. In terms of the market, for example, the processed products, for example, the high-quality cassava flour, the starch, and maybe the kondole. For now, I would say that locally, there is market. There are industrial companies, for example, maybe the fisheries, the breweries which use the high-quality cassava flour, the bakeries, and even the smallholder farmers, some, or even the community, they use the high-quality cassava flour as a substitute of wheat flour in making mandasi and the like. So locally the market is there, but internationally I know it is there, but I'm yet to discover it. The main challenge is the livestock, because cassava is prone to livestock like goats. So most farmers who want to grow cassava or orange-fresh sweet potato, you'll find that during the dry season, the goats are just out there. So most people fail because you cannot make a hedge or whatever to just control the goats. So that's one of the challenges that is there. Another challenge is maybe land, because most people have small land and they prioritize other crops than cassava or sweet potato. Government, it has its own policy. The Malawi Revenue Authority has its own levies. So we have to pay whatever we are supposed to pay. Yes, they are high, but it depends. I guess there are categories. So it's normal.
However, team leader for the group of researchers from Cornell University, Tara Hammonds, said she was impressed with the progress made in the sector from production to marketing.
Students, and we are here for 1.5 weeks to support a local small enterprise, or SME. And we're basically here to assist her as best we can, but our primary purpose is to help her develop a business plan for the production, processing, and distribution of her orange flesh sweet potato and cassava crops. We're very impressed with Fanny. We think she's fantastic. We think her business is fantastic. And really our purpose here is service learning, so we're trying to help her and provide her a service, but we're also learning so much about her business, about roots and tuber crops, and about Malawian agriculture as a whole. So it's been really, it's been a real experience, a real learning experience for us here as well. Yeah, I mean, so far we've been meeting with people throughout the week. You know, I can't speak for other businesses and SMEs, but Fanny has so many connections and so much support from a variety of different institutions, both public and private, research institutes, UN organizations, government organizations. She really has a lot of support, both technical and financial, and even just helping her build her capacity. So we are very impressed by the support that she's receiving. I think Malawian agriculture, as I understand it, is very reliant primarily on maize for the ensima production. That's the staple crop. So I do think that culturally there will have to be some adjustments, but I think something like orange flesh sweet potato, which has a very high vitamin A content, can really help to address malnutrition in Malawi. So if that can be effectively promoted in different communities, and if communities can be effectively sensitized to the benefits of those types of crops, I do think they could become more and more popular in the Malawian diets.
Statistics from Food and Agriculture Organization indicates that African countries contribute roughly 23% to the world production of root and tuber crops. Malawi produces 16% of the total potatoes that are produced on the continent. From Lilongwe, I am Chimwemwe Mangazi.
Proceeding with the program, let's look at how the Malawi kwacha is faring against major trading currencies on the foreign exchange market. The Reserve Bank has released the names of parastatals that have not been remitting pension funds in the quest to improve employers' compliance and reduce pension arrears. A statement from Central Bank indicates that by October 31, 2018, a total of 18 parastatals had not remitted pension funds to fund managers, accumulating up to 5.6 billion kwacha. Details in this report.
A press statement from the central bank that the Daily Times has seen indicates that by October 31, 2018, a total of 18 parastatals had not remitted pension funds to fund managers, accumulating up to 5.6 billion kwacha. ADMAC is topping the list of pension arrears defaulters with 1.3 billion kwacha, followed by the Longwa University of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Luana, with 958 million kwacha, and Malawi Broadcasting Corporation is third with 854 million kwacha. RBM spokesperson Banengwira said that the development follows an initiative that the central bank took to engage all defaulting public and private companies, urging them to start remitting pension funds.
There is a procedure that we follow. Normally, we start with negotiating with the responsible institutions, and then we go into another stage, which is like this one, which is the naming and shaming. That shows that we have had negotiations from way back until we have come to this stage where we have to name them so that the employees should know that their pension funds are not being remitted to the administrators. And from this stage, we also go to another stage where maybe we may take them to court or maybe issue some penalties to compensate the employees.
Also on the list of pension defaulting parastatals is Blantyre Water Board, Northern Region Water Board, Blantyre City Assembly, Malawi Post Corporation, Nzuzu University, Central Region Water Board, Southern Region Water Board, Malawi Institute of Management, Nzuzu City Assembly, Malawi Institute of Tourism, Mangochi Town Council, Longwe City Assembly, Nkatabe District Assembly, Malawi Local Government Association, and the Copyright Society of Malawi. From Lilongwe, I'm Chimwemwe Mangazi.
More than 4,000 exhibitors from 155 countries are in Las Vegas this week for the Consumer Electronics Show, one of the year's biggest conventions for companies to show off their latest technology. Michelle Quinn got a look at some of the products that are hoping to make a splash.
Here at the Consumer Electronics Show, it seems that every activity can use a little help from technology.
And we are here at the CES to show a new product, which is the protection for the bicycle.
More than 180,000 people are in town this week for the annual technology show. They come to see the latest from established big tech companies, but also from new ones. Hilite from France makes airbags with sensors as protection for risky activities.
Accelerometers, gyros, and then we have a microprocessor which is analyzing the motion of the cyclist. If I fall, the sensors will detect the fall and it will send a signal to the cartridge, which is located here, and the cartridge will inflate all the airbag, front, neck and back.
Playing with the technology on the show floor is part of the fun. But some of the excitement at CES this year is about changes to come with the new speedy 5G mobile internet networks.
CES is actually a global platform for all technology products. You know, some of the key themes that we're seeing this year is things like 5G technology, which are going to enable so much faster communications for everything from healthcare to driverless car to AI.
In the meantime, robots show off they can do some human work, and sensors packed into everyday objects promise to make life better.
It's using sensors and an app. 20 minutes before the wake-up time, it's going to warm up smoothly to help you wake up.
And augmented reality can let you see the world and yourself in a new light.
You can try on 30 shades in 30 seconds on the app.
At CES, while the star of the show is technology, human ingenuity is also on display. Michelle Quinn, VOA News, Las Vegas.
On that note, we've come to the end of Business Time right here on Times Television. Until next week, I am Sharon Chirwa. But always remember, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense.